Recording this, ilalagay ko rin siya dun sa Big Sky for you all to revisit, no? So, yun tayo. Also guys, a few reminders lang rin before we actually start. Please guys, upload your required items, no? So yung flowcharts, SCR/EAFs, undertaking, ilan na lang yung kulang? 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. 5 na lang kulang, no, on each, no? So, submit na guys, no? Don't forget, kasi isasubmit ko yung undertakings nyo sa ano namin, sa mga bosses namin, ano. So, please submit guys, okay? Yung link nasa ano na, nasa Big Sky na, so wala na kayong kailangan hanapin pa, doon na ilagay. And make sure to have proper naming system, okay? And then of course, guys, Discord din, ano? Discord is already, it's already there na para easy communication with me, guys, kung may tanong kayo or concerns. And then of course, yung mga grade consultations or yung general consultations, doon na natin gagawin, ano? So, doon tayo sa Discord, no? But for online classes, dito tayo sa Zoom, okay? Clear tayo? Okay, so clear na tayo, no? So let's start na, no? Base pa lang sa ano natin, sa naka-share na screen, no? Module 2 and 3 is lighting 1 and 2. So we'll be talking about lighting muna, no? Now lighting, ang lighting portion ng ating classes throughout this term is actually divided into 4 portions, no? Lightings 1 to 4. Start muna tayo with the easiest, no? With the easiest 2 lightings 1 and 2. So we will be basically talking about global illumination, and then of course the light objects sa ating mga softwares, no? Sa 3ds Max specifically, we'll be talking about Arnold lights and photometric lights. And sa Blender, well, Blender, iilan lang ang light objects niya, wala tayong we don't have much choice really, no? Sa Blender, we don't have as much variety sa Blender compared to 3ds Max, but personally guys, I think Blender, yeah, much better. Much better yung lighting niya. And hindi siya kasing arte ni 3ds Max sa lighting, no? Lalong-lalo na yung photometric lights, no? So start tayo, no? So lighting 1 and 2. Now ito, yung usual natin, topic shortcuts. We have yung terms to remember, and then the rest of the topics already, no? And then as you can see, dalawa yung activities natin. But don't worry guys, discuss na natin yan mamaya. Mamaya ko na sabihin kung what's it about, no? Now, of course, yung ano rin natin, I think visible na. Wait, double check ko lang. I think it's all visible na sa Big Sky. Never mind, di pa pala. Okay, I think it should be visible na guys sa Big Sky. All the, all the PowerPoints, and then of course the activity 2 and 3 Dropboxes and files are already there. So, pwede nyo na ma-view, no? Okay, so start na tayo. Okay, so here are our terms to remember, guys. Terms to remember, very ako dyan, very specific talaga ako dyan. Para yun nga, no, like we're going to be on the same wavelength, no? So, ito yung mga terms to remember natin for these modules, no? Global illumination, Arnold, photometric lights, light shapes, AOV, and compositing, no? Siguro some of this, medyo familiar na kayo, siguro like Arnold, no? And then yung photometric lights, and then compositing, no? So, pretty sure guys, you're already familiar with this one, no? But we're gonna go through them all the same pa rin, okay? So for modules 2 and 3, we will cover a more thorough understanding on how we can use the light objects in our software and how we can better apply them to our scene to provide a much cleaner render that will be easily edited during compositing if the need arises. These modules will cover the Arnold/Cycles render workflow, as well as the lights we can use to our favor and how we can manage various AOVs to easily edit our final render during compositing. Okay? Now, itong natin, it says here Arnold/Cycles, no, guys, but hindi ako masyado magiging maarte dyan. Kung gusto nyo mag-scanline kayo, I mean, bakit kayo mag-scanline? Kung gusto nyo mag-scanline, kung gusto nyo mag-art render, kung gusto nyo mag-Arnold, okay lang ako dyan, no? As for Blender, stick tayo sa cycles, guys, no? compared sa EV. Kasi sa cycles, marami tayong magagawa na hindi magagawa ni EV, no? So stick tayo sa cycles. There's really not that much of a difference in terms of technicalities, no? But yeah, sa cycles tayo for the most part sa ating stay sa 3D ANI, no? Sa finals, hayaan ko kayo kung anong gusto niyo render engine sa Blender gawin niyo, kung cycles or EV, no? So kayo na bahala doon. But for the most part sa mga activities natin, stick tayo sa cycles. Okay? All right. So, pag-usapan na natin ang global illumination. Now, what is global illumination? No? Global illumination, or GI for short, is a system that models how light bounces off of surface and into other surface. No? Basically, ito yung sa global illumination, ito yung basically ang paglaban ng indirect light and direct light. Now, ano ba yung pinagkakaiba ng dalawa? No? So, let's choose direct light muna. No? So direct light, basically, if you angle a single light source to somewhere, no, to somewhere in your scene or to anything in your scene, now that is direct light. Kung ano yung makuha mo doon, that is your direct light. No? So straight light source into the target. Okay? Now for indirect light, yes, technically it is also a quote unquote direct light then, because you're not gonna have an indirect light without direct light, no? So ano nga ba yung indirect light? In a more basic sense, indirect light is called light bouncing, no? Ano ba yung light bouncing, no? So basically, what happens sa light bouncing, if tumutok ka ng direct light, like let's say to a reflective wall, no? Occasionally, what happens is, for example, this one, ito part natin dito, itong fire pit. So we have our light source here, no? So this light source is like a quad light siya to, halos, no? So basically in all four sides, ano siya? Or basically all sides pala ng area na to, magano siya ng light, no? Now, this color right here, no? Itong part natin na nakikita natin and then bounce off siya, yun yung light bouncing natin, no? So what happens sa light bouncing? Light bounces off a surface and then onto another, no? So parang ricochet siya. Light ricochet pala, no? Light ricochet. So tatama muna siya sa isang wall and then magre-reflect siya to another, no? So it's a very scientific it's a very scientific term and a scientific na topic, but yeah, that's basically about it, Ang usually ang ginagamit sa global illumination, gamit na gamit 'yan sa mga games, no? Now for example, this one, no? This is sa Skyrim to, gamit na gamit ang gamit na gamit ang indirect light dito, kaya very low ang rendering time niya when it comes to rendering yung mga levels, yung environment, no? So mga stuff like that, ginagamit ang global illumination, no? So, yun ang global illumination, no? And by applying this system, you can achieve lifelike or realistic renders, or basically trying to connect each asset in your scene together. Now, with also global illumination, ito rin yan. You can also get something like this, no? Yung mga God rays natin, no? But itong God rays natin dito, medyo mahirap nang i-render yan kasi that involves a lot of rendering time na, because what we're doing here is we're using volumetrics, no? Volumetrics, skip na natin yan for now, no? Babalikan na lang natin yan in the future, no? So that is GI, no? So ito yun. Now, this is a more effective diagram, no? So yan. So this is just indirect light, no? Ito yung indirect light natin, no? This is just hindi pala. This is just your direct light where nandito yung nandito yung light source natin or somewhere outside, and then tatama siya dito sa ating window, thus making this sort of effect lang, Wala siyang kahit anong, we don't have any sort of lighting right here, no? Parang unrealistic siya, no? It doesn't look realistic. If you guys look sa natin, sa mga bahay natin, if you have a window near you and then there's light blasting through, guys, isipin hindi isang room nyo, guys, hindi naman siya basta hindi lang siya basta madilim. There's still a form of light pa rin, Kahit sa tingin natin medyo madilim, no? That's not exactly true. Ang nangyayari, ito palagi ang scientific na nangyayari dito. Scientific system na nangyayari dito, no? When it comes to global illumination and indirect light. So, kapag pumasok ang ilaw sa ating sa ating window, hindi lang siya ganito. Dapat fully illuminated siya halos din ang buong bahay natin, ano? Not unless super intense yung ilaw natin, no? So, this is what global illumination does, no? So, clear tayo doon. Medyo complicated siya, but yeah, sobrang dali lang 'tong gawin sa sobrang dali lang 'tong gawin sa scene. Sa mga softwares natin, no? I won't exactly show you kasi part yan na activity 2 nyo, but I'll just be leaving hints, no? Basta super dali lang 'to, guys, I promise you. Baka mabanggit ko pa nga mamaya kung paano nahalos, eh, indirectly lang, ano. But yeah, this is super easy to do sa ating softwares, no? Next tayo. So, rendering workflow. So, before I move on, no questions ba tayo sa global illumination? Walang tanong? Questions? None? None so far? None? Wala? Questions? Questions? None? Okay. So, move on tayo sa rendering workflow, no? So, sa rendering workflow, like any other type of project, we follow a specific workflow, not just for the sake of organization, but also for getting consistent results in all phases of the workflow, no? Para always on track tayo sa ating timeline, no? So, your generic 3D workflow should look something like this, no? Start tayo sa blockout, no? If hindi kayo familiar what blockout is basically you're building up your scene already, ginagawa nyo na yung frame nyo, yung scene nyo, by simply using temporary objects, no? Yung mga temp objects natin like basic cubes, no? Basically to give form kung ano yung dapat na nandoon sa placement na yon. So, for example, gagawa kayo ng isang asset na building. Sa blockout stage mo, ang ilalagay mo doon siguro malaking cube, no? So basically in the form of said building, no? So that's what blockout is, no? Next sa blockout natin, of course, pretty obvious yung modeling na natin. So we've already set up our blockout, no? Set up natin yung blockout natin. We've already gathered our references. We've researched what we need to do. Next comes na yung modeling natin. Pagmamodel natin ng mga assets. Next, after modeling, doon na yung texturing natin. Bibigyan na natin buhay yung mga models natin. Kasi, of course, there's no life without color sa ating mga assets, no, or sa ating mga projects. Next, after texturing, we have extra technical functions. Now, itong extra technical functions, that entirely depends on what you are trying to do, no? A perfect example for this one, let's say, isa sa mga assets mo, you have a character, no? And then you plan to have that character to have like a certain pose in your render, no? Ano yung extra technical function natin doon? Ang extra technical function natin is rigging. Kasi yung plano niya, for example, yun nga, no, ipo-pose niya yung character sa scene na yon. So kailangan natin may posability function yung asset natin. Kasi syempre, let's say during rigging, tapos ka na mag-rigging and then ginawa mo na yung post, nagbago yung isip mo. Parang ang pangit ng post na to, ibahin ko kaya. So we should have that sort of freedom to do just that, no? Aside from rigging, meron din tayong sa mga texturings natin, ano? Sa texturing, part siya ng texturing, yung mga procedural textures natin. So yung procedural textures, basically, you are creating your textures yourself via the 3D software, no? So, pwedeng in that case, yun nga, no, nagbago ka ng isip sa texturing mo, no? You decided to add a procedural texture na lang. No, that's an extra technical function. And then let's say you plan to animate said procedural texture then. That's also part ng extra technical function, no? So it entirely depends talaga sa kung ano yung kailangan mo sa scene mo. Okay? So next doon is of course yung scene build up na natin, no? Scene build up, part na rin yan halos ng blockout natin because yun nga, no? We already have our block out. We've already set up our scene. Sa scene build-up, ilalagay na lang natin yung mga nagawa nating assets sa ating blackout, no? Basically, replacing all the temporary objects with our actual assets. Okay? So after scene build-up, andito na yung lighting, rendering, and then post-prod natin. Of course, lighting, pretty obvious, no? Dito na yung pinakamahirap na part in almost any sort of 3D rendering activity, lighting. Kasi other than sa texturing natin, lighting ang magbebenta talaga sa mga render mo. Because lighting provides realism sa ano nyo, sa actual render nyo. Lalo-lalo na kung habol mo talaga na render is photorealistic, Now that's a bit more complicated to do, no? And then of course, after lighting, nandun na yung rendering natin, and then of course, post-production, no? These two are pretty much self-explanatory already, no? So, clear na tayo doon, guys. Actually, based on what I saw from our first meeting, yung may mga nakikita akong gumagawa na kayo ng activity 1 nyo, may mga nakikita ako ginagawa tong specific na workflow. Siguro, alam na nila siguro or they're doing it accidentally, So may mga nakikita ako may gumagawa ng drawing how to make their scene, and then yun na nagpe-place sila ng mga mga temporary objects, like isang cube, and everything before they actually place their assets, So may mga nakikita na ako na ginagawa na to, and I'm really impressed already, Di na ako magbabanggit, but alam niyo na 'yon. Kilala niyo na sarili niyo, So, props to you guys, So, clear tayo dito, guys? Clear tayo sa rendering workflow. Now, itong mga binabanggit ko dito na mga terminology natin, may purpose 'yan sa future ng term natin ngayon, May purpose 'yan. So, I highly suggest, to capture this all in, Okay? So, tayo? Meet and greet na tayo, Setting up tayo ng render engine, So, question lang muna, So, sa 3ds Max dito, mga 3ds Max users, ano yung most of you guys tinuruan lang ng Arnold or Arnold lang talaga tinuro sa inyo, Arnold lang tinuro or kasama yung Arnold sa tinuro, ano guys? Puro Arnold lang ba tinuro sa inyo? Hindi ko na masyadong matandaan eh. Arnold lang. Sagot guys, yung mga nagda-3ds Max. Arnold. Art lang tinuro pero I still use Arnold. Okay, that's good. Okay. Sino pa? Art and Arnold. Okay. Art lang. Okay. Arnold. Okay. So, most of you guys Arnold pero meron din mga art, So, sa Blender naman, like I said kanina, cycles tayo. Sobrang dali lang ng setup nun. Wala tayong kahit anong anything na kailangan gawin. Hindi tayo kasi kakagtan ni 3ds Max na yun. Basta. Promise, di ako biased. Okay. So, Arnold, 3ds Max tayo. So, to render with Arnold, we first need to set up our render settings, I mean, in a sense, yes, madali lang palitan ng natin, ang ating render engine, So, punta lang tayo sa 3ds Max, So, sa 3ds Max, we press F10 or ito yung icon natin dito, ito render setup, So, select natin 'yan or shortcut nga natin F10, Or kung gusto mong mas maarte pa, gusto ka dito sa rendering and then dito render setup, So, 3 choices. Kung na mamili kung anong gusto mong piliin on how to access your render settings. But I'll just press F10 to open my render setup, So, this is your render setup, Now, ang tinuro ko lang sa mga classes ko noon, Arnold lang rin, So, Arnold tayo muna for the activities, So, stick tayo sa Arnold kasi I promise you guys, si Arnold kasi may function siya dito sa 3ds Max na wala yung iba, Kasi si Arnold, instead na magre-rely tayo dito sa render setup natin to render, we can actually use a separate window under dito sa Arnold, Yung Arnold render view. Mas madali nating mare-render yung yung scenes natin, and then of course, hindi siya prone sa pag-crash, Unlike dito sa render setup natin, if you click render and then click ka lang ng click anywhere, well, may tendency tayo na baka mag-crash yung computer natin while rendering. Siguro some of you guys na encounter na yung yung situation na yon. Ako, I did, nung student ako. Ano yung naging problema ko nun sa rendering namin nun, So, luckily for Arnold, meron siyang separate na meron siyang separate na rendering window na pwede mong ma-render yung scene mo without the risk of crashing. Okay? So, dito sa render setup, so depende yan kung yung naka-install sa'yo, kung first install mo pa lang ng 3ds Max siguro by default nakalagay siya sa scanline, no? Nakalagay siya sa scanline, but we, like I said, no, we want Arnold, no? So dito sa rendering setup, dito sa renderer, select lang natin to, yung drop down natin dito, and then select lang natin Arnold. So that's it. Ganun lang, no? Also, we have to make sure din dito sa baba, itong assign renderer, na everything is Arnold din, ano? Kasi may tendency din minsan na kapag nag-change ka ng mga renderer, na like for example, naglagay ka ng scanline, tapos dito, chinek mo sa assign renderer, hindi siya scanline, nakalagay siya sa Arnold. So kailangan, palitan natin siya to Arnold, no? So make sure lang natin yan. Okay? So dito naman sa ating common parameters, dito, we have yung time output natin. Next time natin babalikan na yan kasi di pa naman to masyadong important. Let's just let it be sa single. No, nakalagay lang siya sa single every time for now, no? And then area to render, this one is pretty much kung ano na to. This is for optimization ng pag-render lang natin. How you optimize rendering, no? Not exactly optimizing your scene, but on how you render, no? So you can pwedeng select siya ng selected, region, crop, or blow up, etc. But I'll just leave this one to view, no? Para isang full render siya kagad, no? Next, itong output size natin. It's pretty self-explanatory, guys. Output size, no? So personally, guys, I only want you to use custom or HDTV, no? Sa custom, dito nyo lang ilagay yung custom na na resolution nyo. Like let's say gusto mo square aspect ratio 500 by 500, pwede yun, doon mo na ilagay. Tapos kung dito sa HDTV, this one is for yung mga HD renders na natin, ano? So we have 1280 by 720, 1920, we have our 2K, we have our 4K. Currently, itong 2022 ko, hanggang 4K lang pwede niyang i-render. Not entirely sure yet sa 2023 kung pwede na siya 8K. Alam ko pwede na, but yeah, I don't think magre-render kayo nun, guys, no? Huwag nyo nang pag-isipang mag-render ng 8K resolution na na image. Guys, baka masunog lang computer nyo, no? So just don't, no? Ayan. Next, the other stuff here, the mga options, advanced lighting, we won't use any of that, no? Next tayo, punta tayo dito sa Arnold Renderer na tab, no? Arnold Renderer. Now, if may GPU ka, no? If you want to use a GPU for rendering your scenes, no? Dito sa Arnold Renderer, we have to set it to Arnold compliant if you're going to be rendering with a GPU and gagamitin mo Arnold, no? So set it to Arnold compliant para mabasa niya na it's ready for GPU rendering, no? Now this one, itong sampling and ray depth, babalikan natin yan mamaya. And that's about it, no? The rest of this one, hindi na natin babalikan, no? Not yet, no? Not yet. So after ng Arnold Renderer, dito tayo sa system. Dito sa system, click naman natin tong device, no? So because like I said, gusto nyo GPU. So under device, itong pinakauna, render device, select nyo lang to GPU. Kasi itong fallback, in case lang nagka-problem tayo sa GPU, set it to CPU, no? Now, here's the thing, guys, no? When it comes to rendering sa 3ds Max, which is actually pretty bad din, lalo na kung kung under-spec yung computer nyo, no? Personally, guys, for 3ds Max, preferred talaga. Sobrang preferred talaga siya na mag-render ka with CPU, no? To get a more cleaner na render sa ating scene. It's weird, but that's how it is talaga sa 3ds Max, ano. Kaya dito siya nagpapa-heavy duty talaga, no. So, yun ang natin, medyo downside kay 3ds Max, no. Personally, guys, ako either which ako dito, kung gusto CPU or GPU, any of it works well naman, no. It entirely depends na lang kung anong mas prefer nyong pang-render, no. It entirely depends na lang sa iyo, no. So system, etc., wala na yan, no? Itong AOVs na to, well, babalikan natin yan mamaya, no? And then the rest of this, well, wala na tayo dyan, no? So we're basically done na sa render setup natin sa 3ds Max, no? So that's about it, no? So clear tayo, 3ds Max users. Clear tayo. Clear, 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 clear. Okay, clear na tayo. All right. So move tayo sa Blender. Well, unlike sa 3ds Max, sa Blender, it's pretty easy, no? So first, select lang natin tong DSLR na icon natin dito, itong camera icon natin dito. And then, select natin tong render engine from EV into cycles. And that's it. Tapos na. And then set lang natin to GPU. Much prefer kung GPU yung gamit nyo para mas mabilis yung rendering natin, no? So that's pretty much it. But actually, wait, there's more pa pala, no? We don't need this amount of samples, guys. We don't need it, no? Trust me, guys, hindi nyo kailangan ganitong kalaking sample count, no? So, while we're here na sa Blender, ibahin na natin yan, no? Now, dito sa viewport, itong max samples natin dito, preferably, I just put this one sa 100, no? Either 50 to 100 should be good, no? 50 to 100, but I'll put this one to 100. And then, of course, turn on ko natin tong denoise para malinis yung render natin. No? So, para mabilis yung render natin dito sa viewport natin. Ano? So, yung render natin dyan, ano? Ito yung sa viewport. Dito yung mag-ano. No? Ayan, sobrang linis na siya. No? Instead na kung nilagay natin ito siya sa 1096 kanina, then we'll just wait for it to render it again. Medyo malabo-labo. Tanggalin natin itong denoise. Oops. Okay? Ayan, ano? Medyo grainy siyang at sa simula, no? So, just changing the max samples already dito sa viewport, like let's say to 50 or 100. 100 lang yun natin sa 100. And then, of course, turning on the denoise, madali na natin makikita yung actual render natin, no? Dito naman, next, of course, itong render dito. Now, this one is actually pretty important already kasi this one indicates your sample count for your final render. Guys, we don't need 4,096. That is way too much, no? Pwedeng i-match nyo na yan to 100 samples lang kasi may denoising na yan eh. So you don't need that much, no? Pwedeng 50 lang rin yan kung gusto nyo. Depende kung kung masyado pa rin kita yung film grain sa ano nyo, yung noise nyo sa scene nyo. That entirely depends. Ako personally, my default max samples in a normal average scene, 250 lang ako. 250 lang ako, that's all good naman na, no? Now, yung 4,096 na yan kasi, this is based na yan sa in a fully bloomed na scene, ano? So kung ano ba yung fully bloomed na scene? So other than having lighting, textures and everything, the whole shebang, no? Kasama din na diyan yung mga volumetrics, composition, no? Basically everything na magpapa-amp sa sa scene mo, no? Kaya 4,096 samples ang default ni Cycles, no? But like I said, we don't need that much. 250, that should be fine. Well, for me, no? For me, 250 is already good, no? So that's more than enough na sa akin. But kayo kung anong gusto nyo, no? And also, it depends din yan sa computer nyo kung kaya ba ng computer nyo, no? So, clear tayo dyan. Clear na tayo. Sa Blender. Clear, 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 clear. That's pretty much it. Napakadali lang tayo mag-render sa Blender, no? So, move on tayo. Move on na tayo sa next stuff natin, no? Now, itong natin, hindi ko pa na-discuss, ano? In the render settings, by default, scanline, never mind, tapos na yan. For the target, you can choose either production rendering mode or active shader mode. Now, this is mainly for personal preferences lang. But for me, guys, if you plan on using still this rendering setup, no? Itong render setup natin to render, ang magiging target nyo dito is production rendering mode. Now, itong active shade mode naman natin, this basically is the similar version ng natin sa Blender with itong render mode natin dito, no? That's basically it, no? That's basically it for active shade. So, manonotice nyo dito sa ating dito sa ating viewport dito, this one right here, maximize ko na nga to. So, this one, ito yung perspective, standard, and the default shading natin. This is your rendering mode, no? Currently, nakalagay siya sa standard, which is the default, no? Now, if you're going to be utilizing yung active shade nga natin, now active shade, guys, it's only available sa Arnold, no? Hindi nyo siya pwedeng gamitin sa other stuff, no? So if you're going to be utilizing active shade to basically see what your scene looks like when it's rendered already, no? Lagay nyo siya sa high quality muna, and then active shade, no? Now, ngayon wala pa akong anything dito, but Yeah, that's basically it lang naman, ano. So, high quality and then active shade, no? Now, do take note din guys, active shade, ano siya, very heavy din siya sa computer nyo, no? So, be careful when using it, no? So, this is the point where you're gonna have to choose in between using active shade or yung alternative window nga natin for Arnold, which is this one, no? Arnold render view. Babalikan natin yan, no? So, that's about it. Now, interesting fact actually sa Arnold, it's actually literally named kay Arnold Schwarzenegger, no? So bakit? Bakit tinawag siya na Arnold? Little fun fact. Kasi yung gumawa, yung designer ng Arnold render engine can imitate Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's basically it, no? That's basically it. Sobrang weird ng naming sense nila. But yeah, that's about it. That's the origin of the Arnold name, no? Oh, yan, cycles, etc., etc. Oh, yung output pala natin. Output resolution, hindi ko na-dictate, no? So dito sa Blender natin, pick natin tong printer icon, itong output properties. This is for your, ano natin, resolution, no? So yan, we'll just change it there. Pretty easy, no? So yan. That's basically it. Yun lang, very quick, no? Alright, so no questions tayo sa rendering setup. No questions? No questions? No questions?
None po, sir.
None. Okay. Good, good, good. Next na tayo, lighting. Okay. So, like I said kanina, sa 3ds Max, we're gonna discuss two lights for now, no? So lighting 1 and 2. Yung Arnold lights and then photometric lights. But specifically dito sa Arnold lights natin, we're only going to be discussing a couple of lights, not everything, no? Kasi there are some Arnold lights that I will be discussing sa lighting 3 and 4 natin, no? For now, skip muna natin 'yan. We will be discussing only a handful sa ating Arnold lights. As for photometric lights, well, iilan lang naman 'yan, no? But sa natin, dito sa photometric lights, it's a bit heavy sa render time natin. So, I'm going to let you choose sa natin activities 2 and 3 kung anong gusto niyo gamitin, no? Between Arnold lights and photometric lights. Personally, guys, nakita ko dati, madalas ginagamit nila Arnold lights kasi medyo light siya sa rendering time natin compared sa photometric, no? Now, as for Blender, well, Blender. Ilan lang yung light objects natin, ano? So we have yung point, sun, spot, and then of course yung area light natin, no? So, really not that much of a choice, no? So start tayo, no? Siguro, ano ba unahin ko? So bilis Blender, no? Unahin ko na muna siguro Blender, no? So start tayo sa Blender. Delete ko muna everything, and then I'm just going to add a plane, and then I'm just going to add a cube. No, not that. Okay, tama pala. Never mind. Oh, come on. Fine. I will mag-snap. Okay. So, yan. It's just, ganyan na lang. No? And then, start tayo ng lighting. No? Now, as you may already know, guys, yung mga, lalo na yung mga nag-Blender last term or basically sa 3D mod nila, they pretty much already know yung natin, light objects natin. No? So, to add your light objects, it's just as simple as adding any sort of object sa ating scene, no? So shortcut natin. Wait, makaon ba yung kailangan ko ba mag-reset? Okay, wait, never mind. So, shortcut natin is Shift A, no? So Shift A, dito sa add natin, we have sa light objects at where's light? Ito, light. Now, we have our point, we have our sun, spot, and area. All of which are all pretty much easy to use, no? Now, yung default light na binibigay ni Blender at the start of any scene is always a point light, no? So, itong point light natin dito, where is it? There it is, no? There's our point light, no? So, automatically, diretso siya kaagad sa pababa, no? Now, currently, di siya kita, no? Kasi yung default na binibigay sa atin is only like 10 watts. No? So, pabaguhin natin yan. Now, yung default power natin dyan is 1,000. So, yun, there we go. No? As you can see, diretso pababa yung, natin, point light natin, ano? Oops. Okay, diretso pababa siya. No? So, each time that we move this, Ayan, ano? Notice nyo na kagad yung effect ng ating point light, no? Now, the unique thing about dito sa Blender na wala si 3ds Max. Well, si 3ds Max technically meron din siya, but it's not as efficient as Blenders. But dito sa Blender, we can easily interchange our lights, no? So like let's say, pag nagbago isip ko, I don't want a point anymore, gawin ko naman siyang spot. We can easily select that there, no? So, ayan. Napakadali ng ano natin, no? Napakadali ng pag-pick natin ng lights, no? There we go. There we go. May spot na kagad tayo. Now again, pretty much easy lang rin yun. Power, intensity, and then of course, pwede nga natin change yung color natin. Ano? Pwede pala natin change yan. No? So, yan. And then radius, yan, dito sa light, ano natin, spotlight natin, max bounces. Now, itong max bounces natin dito, ito yung indirect light na natin doon. Now, this one entirely depends yan sa ano natin, sa kung ano yung material na tinatamaan yan. So, you're gonna have to think on that then, no? Now, this one, itong mga parts natin here, cast shadow, multiple importance, and then shadow caustics, hindi natin gagalawin yan. Please, guys, wag niyong gagalawin yan. Lalong-lalo na yung shadow caustics na yan. Guys, if you don't know what caustics is, basically, sa caustics, if you shine a light through a transparent but reflective object, like for example, a diamond, alam na natin kung anong itsura nun, di ba? Parang meron tayong may makikitang mga white streaks, di ba? As sa reflection niya. Now, that is caustics, no? Now, caustics, they are very, very dangerous to render. Bakit? Dahil ito yung pinakamahirap na i-render talaga sa lahat-lahat ng mga items natin sa 3D design, no? Hindi siya volumetrics, no? Now, like for example, mga fogs, no, wala pa yan, talo pa yan ng caustics, no? So, etong caustics na to, sure, I won't stop you from rendering it, but I really want you to not render this, lalo na kung, yun nga, no, under spec ka, and this is for like pang supercomputer na halos, no? Or naka 3090 ka, no? Now kasi naka-work ako sa ano ko, sa working desktop ko, dito yung studio desktop ko, but hindi ko na i-render yung caustics dito. No? Andahan tayo sa ating pag-render, no? Don't click this, do not ever, no? So ito. Next one, itong spot size natin. Again, spotlight. You can easily play around with this one, no? Ayan, show cone. Kung gusto nyo makita yung light po ng ating spotlight. I mean, why would you do that? But yeah, sure, why not, no? Nandiyan na yan. Now, dito sa point, ganoon din naman yung sa point natin, hindi ko pa na-discuss, ano? Ilang rin naman yun. You have your radius, your max bounces, etc., yung power, and yung color. Now, ito naman yung area light natin. Now, this is for global illumination, no? Bakit? Kasi, ang equivalent nito, ito yung quad light natin sa 3ds Max, no? Basically, everywhere, every angle, magbibigay siya ng light, no? So, yan. Now, dito sa area light natin, we can easily change yung light shape natin. We have the square, we have your rectangle. Now, it doesn't really change much dito sa natin kasi, it's an area light, no? But if you play around with it enough, makikita mo naman yung yung effect niya. But usually, guys, for an area light, stick with the square one. Yun ang best one here, no? Itong square natin. Okay? So, yan, size, nandito rin yan, no? We can easily change yung size ng ating, light shapes. Oh, there we go, sumobra. There we go. Max bounces, also the same. And then beam shape. So, you can play around with this one then, pero not much change naman yan. So, I just leave it at 1/8. Now, ito next, yung sun natin, no? Now, itong sun, I don't really recommend this. Well, not yet anyway, no? I don't really recommend this yet for global illumination. Kasi itong sun natin dito, we'll be discussing that sa lighting 3 and 4, no? So, next meeting, no? Next meeting natin di-discuss to, no? Itong sun natin. So, for lightings 1 and 2, stick muna tayo sa point, the spot, and then sa area. Okay? Clear tayo, Blender users? Clear tayo? Clear. Okay? Alright. Punta naman tayo sa 3ds Max. Ito, ang mahaba-habang discussion, no? So, gawa lang rin ako ng plane ulit. Hassle nito, ah. Okay, gawa lang ako ng 100. Then, zero it out. Okay, up. Never mind. Box 50. Wait, masyadong malaki pala to. 20 na lang. Then, zero it out again para centered. Okay. Now, dito sa 3ds Max, ang didiscuss natin dito is Arnold lights and photometric slides, like I said, no? So, where to get them? I mean, dito na yan saan natin, sa Create tab natin, ano? So, dito sa Create tab, we have yung mga icons natin here, no? First one, yung shapes natin, then first one, yung primitives natin, second one, yung mga splines, and then the third one is our lights, no? So, select lang natin tong light bulb. And then by default, nakaset na siya kagad sa photometric, no? Mamaya na natin yung photometric, unahin na muna natin tong Arnold, no? So Arnold, select natin 'yan. Now dito sa Arnold light natin, itong Arnold section, we only have one light, no? So select lang natin tong Arnold light and then select lang tayo anywhere on the scene and that's it, no? That's how you set up your light, no? Yan yung Arnold light natin. Now by default, ang current na light type niya dito is a quad. No? Okay, ito siguro question, but nawala? Nawala yung mga parameters siya dito. Madali na natin mababalik yan. Dito lang natin sa Modify tab. No? Or shortcut natin, again, is press 2. Yan, dito siya tayo. Basta make sure lang nakaselect tayo doon, of course. No? So yan. Now, by default, ito yung ano natin, no? Ito yung parameters natin. Now, like I said, no? Default light niya is a quad. No? So, quad lang yan. Now, just like sa Blender, ito lang yung pinaka-available na pwede natin gawin sa Blender, like guys sa Blender, easily interchanging, no? So, yan, pwede na siyang ma-change kagad. Kung gusto niyo point, pwedeng spot, pwedeng quad, no? So, nandun na siya lahat, no? Yung the rest dito, hindi natin i-discuss yan, no? Ang i-discuss natin sa lighting 3 and 4 na hindi natin i-discuss muna for now, itong mesh, itong sky dome, itong photometric, no? So itong tatlo yung hindi natin di-discuss muna. Ito lang muna discuss natin, itong point, spot, and then quad. Itong distant and disk and cylinder, walang kwenta yan. Hindi nyo magagamit yan kahit kailan, no? Kasi they're pretty bad, no? So point, spot, quad lang tayo. Just like sa Blender, no? Point, spot, and then quad or yung area, no? So, yan ang di-discuss muna natin. Now, by default, like I said, quad siya. No? So, you can easily change yung spread natin dito. Now, itong spread, just leave it at 1 kung gusto nyo. Itong quad X and quad Y, ito ang pinaka-important. No? So, what quad X and quad Y does, yan, nakikita nyo dito, pinapalaki niya yung quad light natin dito. But, not only that, no? Itong quad X and quad Y natin dito, this also changes yung shadow na binibigay niya sa object natin. No? So, one thing that you should take note here for quad X and quad Y, the greater quad X is, the softer the shadow, no? But of course, syempre, kada pagtaas natin sa quad X, dapat i-match din natin sa quad Y, but not fully match it, guys, no? Make sure dito sa ano natin, rectangular pa rin siya, no? Don't make it square kasi kapag ginawa niyong square yan, ang magiging result niyan is a bit too sharp, no? Hindi masyado magiging visible yung shadow. So, medyo tansyahan mo lang naman yan, ano? Itong roundness. Next naman natin, itong roundness. This one, again, also sa, sa shadows yan. And then soft edge, okay na ako dyan. Just leave it all at 1. Itong roundness and then soft edge. Keep those at 1 kung gusto nyo ng mga soft shadows, no? Now, dinidiscuss ko kung paano itong gawin, pero di pa natin nakikita kung ano itsura, no? So, para natin makikita. Now, we can, like I said kanina, no, we can use yung active shade natin, but we're going to be using yung Arnold specific na na render view natin, no? So, dito sa menu bar natin, select natin tong Arnold. So, Arnold. And then select natin tong Arnold render view. Select natin yan. So, okay. So, number 1. The Arnold render view can only be used for production setting. Do you wish to switch to production? Now, ito, kasi kanina, you remember correctly, sinwitch ko kanina siya to active shade, no? But since itong Arnold render view only uses siya production, kasi that's what it technically does already, same sa render setup. So, click natin yan sa yes, no? I prefer this one, guys, itong Arnold render view compared sa active shade, no? Kasi mas mabilis yung makikita dito compared dito. And yun nga, no, like I said, less risk sa crash. No? Now, before I do anything else, babaan ko rin siguro muna yung ano ko, output ko, 640, 580, okay na muna yan. And then, let's see how it looks. No? So, currently, okay, medyo dim siya. No? Medyo dim yung scene natin kasi masyadong mahina pa tong scene ko. But, as you can see already, makikita nyo na yan, no? Nag-update siya. So, basically to use this, if you can already see sa ginagawa ko kanina, no? You can just quickly hit play to basically render out yung scene natin. Now, currently, it's going to be taking my viewport camera. So basically, kung saan nakaset yung viewport ko, yun yung i-render niya. Now, the good thing about this one, yun nga, no? The good thing about this one, unlike sa render setup natin dito, now, itong view to render natin dito, kailangan i-set natin siya. Kailangan i-set natin one specific viewport sa camera and then select that to render it out, no? But for Arnold render view, the good thing about this one, kahit ang camera natin dito, let's say gumawa ako ng camera. Control C. Okay, let's say gumawa ako ng camera, no? And then I move this one away, no? And then I close this one para ma-refresh lang yung Arnold render view. May notice nyo dito sa ating Arnold render view, dito sa taas natin dito, sa kanina, no? It says here, viewport underscore camera. Yun yung kinukuha na niya currently, no? You can easily switch this one. But ayaw nyo pakita. Okay. Teka. Wala. Store. Okay, Arnold render view. Okay. So, nag-refresh na. Konting bug lang. But, yeah. So, yun. Mananotice nyo dito, viewport underscore camera. And then yun, may choice ka na to set it to your camera kung saan nakalagay siya. No? So, pwede nyo ilagay na doon. And then, press nyo lang play to let it view. While dito sa ating, sa ating viewport, we can freely use yung perspective natin and hindi nagbabago to. No? So, click pause ko muna dyan and then ibahin natin yung intensity ng ating quad light, no? So, intensity natin, it can easily be changed dito sa ating intensity. Dito sa color/intensity, no? So, ayan. So, select lang natin tong intensity. Now, may tip for you guys dito sa paggamit ng intensity natin dito. It's almost the same sa Blender, no? But not fully, no? Not fully the same siya, no? Kasi ayan, for example, dito sa 1,000 natin dito, it's way too bright na. So, gawin natin siyang similar sa Blender, which is 100, no? So, ano lang siya? It's almost similar lang siya sa intensity natin. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, my tip for you guys dito sa intensity natin sa Arnold Light, no? Arnold Lights. Usually, I sometimes set this one to like maybe around 10. And then, dito, ang iibahin ko dito is exposure, no? Kasi, I don't know why, but for me, when I was testing out my renders, when instead na, for example, this one, nakalagay siya sa intensity 10, pero tinaas ko lang exposure, it's literally the same as kanina, no, sa 100 intensity. But the difference here, slightly mabilis tong render time konti dito, no? Slightly mas mabilis yung render time. So, that's personally what I do, lalo na when it comes to global illumination, yan ang tinataas ko konti para medyo bright yung scene ko sa pag-render, no? Next, rendering. Itong samples natin dito. Now, ito, pinaka-important, no? Yung mga samples. Now, again, when the samples, they're pretty technical terms, but I'm going to be explaining them as basic as I can, no? So, the basic explanation for samples is, ang kailangan nyo lang tandaan dito, the higher the samples, the higher the render, but the cleaner the render, no? So, higher samples, higher render, but clean render, no? So, low samples, low render, pero low quality din yung magiging yung overall output natin, no? So, higher samples, clean output. Lower samples, slightly okay output, no? Huwag tayo masyadong maging cruel, no? But yeah. This is about it. Now, itong samples natin dito, 4 lights, this is for the actual lights, no? Kasi there will be some cases na baka hindi ko ma-replicate ngayon. But siguro, when you're doing your activity 2 and 3, makikita nyo to, no? Makikita nyo yung certain things na to. So, siguro, I'm going to leave it at that for now. Huwag muna natin discuss. Leave it at that na natin sa activity 2 and 3 natin, no? Now, itong shadows, yan, di ko na ginagalaw yan, di ko na ginagalaw lahat yan. So, hanggang dito lang ako. Color intensity, and then dito sa samples, no? Hanggang dyan lang ako. Now, dito naman tayo, point, no? So, point, a bit sharper din siya, no? A bit sharper din siya. And then you can increase the radius if you want to. Gusto nyo? Yan. Now, manonotice nyo dito sa radius natin, kapag binababaan ko, nagiging sharper yung shadow. But each time na tinataas ko yung radius, nagiging slightly softer yung shadow edges, shadow borders ko, no? So, it's up to you kung gaano ka-soft ang gusto nyo gawin. Now, yan, no? So, pwede nyo mabago yan. You can also make the light shade visible just like dun sa quad, but guys, you don't really need to do that, no? So, there are better ways to do this, itong light shade visible, na ituturo ko sa inyo sa lighting 3 and 4. Now, next, dito tayo sa color intensity. Same din, no? Same thing as before. Now, hindi ko lang na-discuss itong preset tsaka itong Kelvin. Now, itong preset, meron tayong mga templates already. No? Now, personally, they're okay. They're okay. They're not that terrific, but yeah, they're okay. They're okay lang naman. If you want to use them, well, they're there. Now, next naman, itong Kelvin, this is your temperature, no? So, yan, pwede nyo going much cooler yung lighting nyo, or pwede nyo babaan, masyado mataas na to. But yeah, I rarely use this one again. Ayan, so yan. If I set it at 5,000, medyo naging warm. Pwede kong gawing 10,000 para maging cooler yung temperature. It's entirely up to you, no? Kung gusto nyo. Yan, okay? Alright, same thing as before. Intensity, same thing. Rendering, shadow, etc. All the same thing, no? So next, dito naman tayo. Spot. Lastly, well, personally, guys, for me, itong spotlight ng 3ds Max, so much better sa Blender, no? I really like this the spotlight very much, no? And definitely ito rin yung mga most used na lights ko na ginagamit dati. Kasi look at it, it's so nice, no? So nice compared natin dito sa Blender, no? So yan, dito sa natin. So more stuff tayo dito. We have yung radius natin, ng light natin actual. We have our cone angle, yung palaki natin yung hotspot natin. Lens radius, yan. Same thing yan sa natin, sa cone angle, in correlation with that. Penumbra angle, ito na yung sa pinaka-loob natin, yung pinaka-hotspot sa gitna, no? Itong aspect ratio and then roundness, di ko na ginagalaw yan, no? Now, unlike sa natin, Blender, we can't use the light shade visible nga lang dito sa spotlight natin sa ating Arnold light, no? So that is it. That is basically it. Also, siguro I forgot to mention, no? Dito sa point, spot, and then quad natin. Meron kayo na-notice siguro dito sa pataas, no? Itong general. Itong targeted, no? So we can pick itong targeted natin kung gusto lang natin ng like gusto nyo stationary lang yung light natin and then you want it to move and you want to angle the light in a certain angle, no? Pwede nyo gawin yan other than yun nga, no? Rotating lang natin, no? Other than rotating, pwede natin gamitin itong targeted, no? So basically, when we add the targeted, tingnan nyo mabuti, dito sa Scene Explorer ko, once I add the targeted, nadadagdagan siya ng isang item dito, itong target natin. So basically, what happens here, ayan, no? Ito yung target natin. So basically, ito na yung pwede nating i-move. Ayun. Manonotice nyo, kung saan ko ginagalaw yung target ko, sumusunod yung light natin. Doon niya inaanggulo, no? So, let's say, itong light natin, gusto nyo, dyan lang siya stationary, no? If you want to place that certain light just there, but you want it in a certain angle, this is a better way to do it than rotating, no? So, yan. As you can see, magawa natin yan. No? Now, this is quad light currently. Pwede natin yan gawin sa ating spot, no? Pwede natin gawin sa spot yan. Much better rin yan na, better use ng spot din natin, no? Also a good this is also a good animation point din natin. Pwede nyo i-animate din to. So yan, pwede nyo gawa. So parang ginawa nyo, parang yung sa mga tawag doon, yung mga showroom na na lighting natin. You can easily do that, no? Yan, pwede nyo magawa yan instead na pag-rotate nyo, no? So yan. Pretty easy to do. Alright? Now, sadly, sa point, wala siyang ganyan. No? Kasi, or currently, sa point kasi, sa point light natin, it already has technically a target already. No? Kasi, sa point natin, ang ano yan, no? Always palaging shot siya outward. No? Almost similar siya sa quad natin. Ano? But, yeah. So, that's point light. No? Parang glowing object lang siya halos. No? So, wala siyang targeted option. No? And then, of course, you make it light shade visible kung gusto nyo. Now, siguro for this one, during our animation discussions, papalikan natin tong point light kasi there's one unique trick na pwede kong ituro sa inyo regarding this one to basically have a artificial sun already without actually replicating a sun technically. Wait, magulo siya actually currently. So basically what is going to happen is the point light, we're going to turn that into the sun by simply using this one, no? But yeah, next time na natin yun. For now, wala mo natin gagawin yan. Kasi marami pang kailangan gawin doon. No? So yun. That is Arnold lights. No? They're actually pretty basic din naman. But it's a bit heavy duty to render din. No? Unlike nga dito sa Blender. No? So clear tayo guys. Clear tayo sa paggamit ng lights. And then of course, sa paggamit natin ng Arnold render view. No? So clear tayo. Are we clear? Clear tayo? Clear. Okay. Next tayo. Lastly, sa ating next na lights. Oh. So, tanggalin ko na muna tong light natin dito. We won't be using that anymore muna. Gamitin naman natin yung kanina, itong photometric. No? Photometric lights. Now, as the name suggests, no, photometric lights, the reason that they are very, very heavy to render is number one, they are studio lights, no? Nire-replicate niya yung actual studio lights natin, no? So, be very careful in using photometric lights, no? They can still be used, pero may mga downsides din tayo dito sa photometric lights, eh. Number one is always high sample count tayo palagi dito kasi the thing with photometric lights, they produce a lot of noise, no? So by a lot of noise, since nagproduce sila ng a lot of noise, what happens is palagi kayo magkakaroon ng mga parang field grain sa sa scene nyo, no? So we don't want that. We want a clean, crisp render, no? So, but of course, that depends na rin yan sa computer nyo, no? And then of course, by using photometric lights, there's also going to be a need of a sort of setup then, no, to do while you're using them, no? Number one, of course, preferably guys, you might want to have a camera already sa scene nyo, no? So if you remember how to use a camera, basically the shortcut is ginawa ko na kanina. Let's say for example, I want this view, gusto ko tong view na to, and then gusto ko lagyan ng camera dito. So just press Control C, no? Control C, ayan, nagdagdag siya ng camera, no? But I don't need that anymore kasi may camera na ako. So yun. Control C if you want to add a camera to that certain point of view already, no? Now I already have a camera on hand here, so hindi ko na kailangan yan. Start na agad tayo, no? Now, exit out ko muna to. Exit out ko muna yan kasi may makikita tayo dito, no? So dito sa photometric lights natin dito, let's start by adding siguro one of these two, no? Now, guys, really, itong target light and free light, they're literally the same thing. Trust me guys, they're literally just the same thing. So pwede yung kung anong alin dyan gamitin nyo, target or free light, no? Personally guys, I like to start with free light, no? So click lang yung free light and then nag-open up tong dialog box natin dito. It says photometric light creation. Sabi dito, you are creating a photometric light. It is recommended that you use the physical camera exposure control. Exposure control settings can be adjusted from the environment and effects dialog. Would you like to change this now? So click lang natin yes, and then we're okay. We're okay na. Lumabas na yung parameters natin and everything. Oops, ayan. So naglagay na rin ako ng photometric light ko. No? So yan. So that is our photometric light. Now by default, it's just like a just like a point light. Point light siya by default, no? Now, tingnan na nga natin kung ano itsura nito sa render, no? Tingnan natin kung ano maging tsura nito. Sobrang bright, no? It's way too bright do sa compared natin kanina sa point light natin sa Arnold light, ano? That's because, like I said, this replicates a studio camera already, no? So, ayan, no? Marami tayong kailangan baguhin dito, no? Now, personally, guys, yes, photometric lights are very heavy to render, but they are actually very, very useful when it comes to product renders, no? Personally, guys, I really like this one a lot, no? I really like this photometric lights lalo sa mga ano natin. Yung pag-showcase mo ng mga close-up shots, no? They're going to come in handy a lot, no? So, personally, for something like this one, ano, for something like this, what I want to do is, lalo na kapag mga commercial renders, no? Gagawa ko ng ano, gagawa lang ako ng basic studio na setup, no? So, paano yun? So, gagawa lang ako ng isang simple na cyc, no? No? So, ano ba yung cyc natin? So, cyc is basically this sort of ramp, no? Siguro nakakita na kayo siguro one way or another sa ano natin, sa mga behind the scenes ng mga movies, no? So, you have this like sort of ramp and then chamfer ko lang. Then increase the chamfer amount, and then where is it? Where is it? Like edge segments, and then that's it, no? So, yan yung ano natin. Yan yung cyc natin, no? This is pretty useful din, guys, no? So, di ko pala kinonfirm. Okay, so chamfer, and then plus. Okay. All right. Then when that happens, yan na yan. No? So we have a clean background na, no? So, close up ko na lang siguro somewhere around here. Okay, masyadong maikli. Okay, so yan. I have my cyc. Now, gawa ko ng bagong camera. Yan na yan. Tanggalin ko na tong isa. Delete that. Then go back to perspective. And then I am good. Back sa Arnold render view. Then up. Camera, please camera 2. Okay. So yan. Now we have our cyc, no? Meron tayong clean background for a studio type of shot, no? But yeah, this is definitely a lot of tweakings that you need to do when it comes to photometric lights, no? So siguro pwede pa natin adjust konti yung ano natin, yung light distribution type natin, no? So dito sa light distribution type natin dito yung quote unquote yung light types natin, no? Sa ating photometric lights. Now currently, nakalagay siya sa uniform spherical, which is the standard studio light, no? Meron tayo ditong spotlight naman next. Itong spotlight, photometric spotlight natin dito, personally, I don't like this a lot, no? I really don't like this a lot. Masyadong bland tingnan yung spotlight natin dito. But yeah, it's there kung gusto nyo gamitin. Rarely kung ginagamit yan actually, no? When it comes to studio renders, no? And we have here uniform diffuse. Now, itong uniform diffuse, another good alternative for global illumination, no? So yan, pwede nyo gamitin din yan if you want to. And then, of course, yung default natin, uniform spherical. Now, itong photometric web, well, sa lighting 3 and 4 na natin yan. Because trust me guys, itong photometric web, it might look very technical, but trust me, it's actually super simple. And magsasaya kayong gamitin to sa photometric lights. It's going to change everything that you think about photometric lights. If you hate it currently, trust me guys, magsasaya kayo sa photometric lights if once ma-discuss na natin tong photometric web. But for now, skip muna natin yan. Because like I said, sa lighting 3 and 4 pa natin yan. No? So stick muna tayo dito sa uniform spherical. Now, currently, nakalagay siya kagad sa sa templates natin. There we go. No? Wala tayong kahit anong default na natin. Because like I said kanina, photometric lights, they are already set as studio lights. No? So always naka-template siya palagi. We can't start from scratch. It's always on a template. No? So currently, nakalagay siya sa illuminant, LED light siya, no? So currently, white yung color niya. And then yung intensity, yun lang pwede natin mabago natin dito. Yung intensity natin dito. So you can choose luminescence kung gusto nyo, but they're literally just the same, guys, no? So they're literally just the same. No need to actually change it if you want to, no? Now ito, next naman natin, itong light shape, no? Oops. Okay. Itong light shape natin, this one is also the same as light distribution. Well, almost, no? So light shape, just like yung sa natin kanina, sa Arnold lights natin, meron tayong mga point and yung natin, yung spot, etc., etc. Now, dito sa light shape natin, ito we only have this bunch here. No? We have point, we have line, rectangle, this sphere, cylinder. Now, the only important thing here na talagang magiging useful sa inyo guys are point and sphere. No? Now, tingnan nyo already kung ano yung difference between the two, ng point and ng sphere. What do you think is the difference na nakikita nyo? So, zoom in ako dito. So, select a point. And then next is a sphere. What do you think is the difference between the two? Ano sa tingin nyo, guys? Ano sa tingin nyo? What is the difference between the two? Ito, hint. It's about the shadows. No. Ano sa tingin nyo? Ano sa tingin nyo yung difference between the two? No. Point? Yes, okay. Yes, tama, Patricia, no? Sa point, we have very sharp shadows, no? It's a bit soft, but it is way too sharp, no? Just like any type of any type of studio light natin. That's the default light shape. Now, when it comes to a sphere though, much softer yung shadow natin, no? See where I'm getting here? See why it's so useful ang sphere natin and yung point light natin, because we can easily change our light shapes to a certain to get certain outputs sa ating mga light, sa ating shadows, no? So dito sa sphere, we can, again, just like kanina, we can easily change yung radius natin to see how much the softer the shadow is and ganong kalaki yung fall off niya, no? So we can see here, itong radius natin, kapag tinataasan ko, lumiliit yung occupancy ng shadow niya, pero ang laki ng fall off nung shadows, no? Itong parang remnants ng shadow niya dito, no? So you can easily get rid of that by easily lowering that, no? Or just stick it to 5.5, no? Which is the traditional na natural soft shadow lang natin, no? Okay? Now, next, itong rendering, light shape, visible, and rendering. Now, this one, like, kapareho lang yan ng kanina, no? Light shape natin yan, no? That's pretty much easy, no? Pretty easy to understand, makikita lang natin siya sa render. But again, why would you use that, no? It's a bit bad, no? Again, like I said, there's a tons of better ways to do said light shape without doing this, no? This one's pretty bad, no? So, yan. Clear tayo, guys? Clear tayo for this one. The light shapes. Itong shape areas, shadows. Clear tayo. Now, itong last natin dito, itong ray trace, atmosphere, and effects, hindi na natin gagalawin yan. We don't need to. Hindi natin kailangan galawin yan. They're just extra technical stuff that you're not really going to be using, no? Now, siguro may nanonotice kayo siguro at this point kanina, no? Nagre-render ako, no? When I'm changing my point here, no? Ngayon, sobrang bright niya, but once it's finished fully rendering, notice nyo, naging dim, no? Now, that's not what we want, no? Hindi natin trip yon. Paano natin babaguhin yon, no? Siguro, ang nasa isip natin ngayon, tataasan natin yung intensity natin, no? Well, yes, technically, pwede rin yon, but there's a much better way to do this, no? And that is to make use of exposure control, no? Now, before we actually move on, siguro, isip nyo din, sir, paano yung target light natin kanina dito sa ating photometric lights, no? Again, guys, target light and free light, they're literally the same. Kung gusto mo mag-switch over to target light, you can easily just click this one sa free light natin, no? So you can easily just stick with the free light and then click on targeted. It's literally just the same thing, guys, no? It's literally just the same thing. Okay, they're literally just the same, no? Same purpose lang rin din yung targeted natin dito. As you can see kanina, if I add a targeted, ayan, nag-ibig siya ng target, and then you can easily control it, well, somewhere. Ayun, so yun. Yung target natin, and then you can, oops. You can easily move it around. Susunod yung light mo. There we go. See that? All right. So, off na lang rin natin yan. We don't need that. And then, let's move on dun sa exposure control natin. So, move on tayo dito. So, ano ba yung exposure control? No? So, okay tayo dyan. Okay tayo dyan. Guys, I have here a bunch of mga description dito if you want to learn more. Kasi ginawa ko sa inyo just a quick run through on what you just need to remember dito sa mga lights natin dito. But if you want to read more on about it, ito lahat yan. Nilagay ko lahat dyan. Pretty detailed na lahat yan. Now, lastly, ito palang sun positioner. Again, discuss ko na kaya to? Yeah, sure, discuss ko na nga. Actually, yeah, magandang introduction to sa exposure control actually, no? So, sun positioner tayo. Sun positioner. So, exit out ko muna to. And then, tanggalin ko muna tong photometric light. And then, mag-a-add ako ng sun positioner. Now, this is just a quick run-through. Hindi pa to yung full discussion natin sa sun positioner. We're going to have a separate discussion for this one sa lighting 3 and 4. This is just a quick run-through. And yun nga, no? Ang ano natin dito is just a very quick introduction then to exposure control. No? So, select na natin to by simply clicking on here. And then currently, on first click natin, bibigyan tayo ng option to basically rotate tong compass natin dito. Now, personally guys, it doesn't matter kung anong position ng sun positioner mo dyan. I just double click lang kung para okay na dyan. And then to basically confirm yung position ng compass ko. And then this is basically how far the sun is. Now, personally, preferably guys, have this one, itong sun natin dito, have it as far away as possible from your scene para mas better yung yung results natin. Now, problem natin, hindi ko na ma-select yung actual sun. Paano natin i-select yan? No? So dito sa ating dito sa modify tab natin, by pressing 2, ito, click lang natin itong drop down natin, and then click natin itong sun, and then we can easily move it again. No? May have it as far away as possible, and then maybe try to play around with it for now. No? So ganyan lang tayo dyan. So okay na ako dyan, no? Currently. No? Let's say I'm okay with this one. I'm gonna go back to my Arnold render view, and then I'm going to hit play to render. Okay. Ano yung problem natin? Ano sa tingin niyo guys problem? There's a bit of a problem here, no? Now yung problem natin, nawala yung scene natin, no? Parang natamaan tayo ng flashbang, no? So everything is all white, no? So dito na papasok si exposure control. So I'm gonna stop rendering that for now. Discuss natin ang exposure control, no? So exposure control. Punta tayo dito. Oh, there we go. So exposure control, as the name suggests, controls your exposure. But kanino exposure? Is it the lights? Actually, no. When it comes to exposure control, both 3ds Max and Blender, they have specific uses for those. Yung exposure control natin is for global exposure. No? So all throughout the scene, may effect yung exposure natin. No? So dito sa 3ds Max, we have here the instructions already. Ano? So pakita na natin yan. And then we have here sa Blender. No? So dito tayo sa 3ds Max muna. Kasi madali lang sa 3ds Max. So punta tayo dito sa ating rendering tab. Itong sa menu bar, punta tayo sa rendering. Oops. Punta tayo sa rendering. And then punta tayo dito sa environment, no? Or shortcut natin is 8, no? Press 8 on your keyboard, and then there we go. Now, manonotice nyo dito, kung hindi pa kayo naglalagay ng sun positioner, empty to. Wala tayong laman dito. We don't have anything here, but if we added a sun positioner, madadagdag tong environment map natin. Because the thing with sun positioner, dinadagdagan na niya kagad ng background or yung tinatawag natin na HDRI. No? So, you can easily use that kung gusto nyo. But, of course, di pa yun yung discussion natin. Discussion lang muna natin is yung exposure control. Now, since sun positioner is a photometric light, ang exposure controller natin dyan is a physical camera exposure control. So, with that name in mind, it says here, physical camera exposure control. That means, kailangan na natin ng physical camera. No? So, kailangan natin ng camera. No? So, we should already have a camera on hand already. So, select lang natin yan. I mean, that's by default. Yan yung kanina, di ba, nagkaroon tayo ng dialog box kanina nung nag-add tayo ng photometric light. Yan yung nilagay niya sa exposure control. No? So, just leave it at that. No? And then, pupunta tayo dito, scroll down tayo dito. Pupunta tayo dito sa ating global exposure. Wala tayong gagalawin dito sa physical camera exposure. Dito tayo sa global exposure. No? Now, see what happens when I raise the exposure value. Currently, nasa 6 yung natin, exposure value natin, yung EV natin. Let's say, adjust ko siya to 10. And then I try to render it again. Oh, slowly but surely, lumabas na yung scene natin. No? So, medyo baliktad yung global exposure natin. Di ba guys, usually when it comes to exposure values, if you took your photography class already, the higher the exposure, the brighter your scene is. Yes? Correct, di ba? So the higher the exposure, the brighter your scene. Pero sa 3ds Max, baliktad tayo, no? Baliktad tayo. So the higher yung exposure value natin dito sa global exposure, the less brighter yung natin, yung render natin, which is weird, no? Now, currently, okay, kita naman yung scene natin, but I guess we can do more. Try natin 11 EV. Okay, currently it's sort of looking good. 12. Okay, so I guess 12 is good, but more than enough na, no? So yeah, there we go. There we go. So yan, pwede na natin change yung natin, global exposure natin dito to change yung natin, overall white balance natin. So pwede natin gawin sunlight, pwede natin gawin shade, pwede overcast, no? You can easily play around with that. You can easily change din yung color kung gusto nyo, no? Itong custom natin, no? So select nyo lang itong custom, then select that, no? So yan, you can easily change these, no? So yan, incandescent, fluorescent. So in a sense, despite it being called sun positioner, no? Pwede rin siyang gamitin as a form of studio light, no? Pwede rin siyang pang global illumination din kung gusto nyo, no? So yan. Now image control, you can play around with this one, but for me, yan, di ko lang ginagalaw yan halos, no? I just stick one to daylight kung sun positioner. So yan, there we go. Now, yan, wala mo na tayong gagalawin dyan. Hanggang dito lang tayo, no? Global exposure and image control if you choose so, no? Okay? So, that is sun positioner and yung exposure control natin sa 3ds Max. Clear tayo? Clear tayo? Clear, clear, clear? Clear, clear. Next tayo. Dito tayo sa ating Blender, no? Excuse me. So, dito sa ating Blender, dito tayo sa ating render settings, no? This one, render settings, render properties, no? So, sa DSLR na icon, and then sa pinakababa, dito sa color management, and then here, exposure. Currently, nakaset siya sa 0. But guys, really, not once ko pang nagamit sa buong career ko tong exposure natin dito sa Blender because there's really no need to. There's really no need to kasi, I mean, the lights already sa ating Blender, they're already pretty good naman na. They don't need a lot of supervision when it comes to exposure. But yeah, it's there if you want to, no? It's there if you want to. But yeah, like I said, sa buong career ko, rarely ko nagamit yan, no? Rarely ko nagamit yan. It's just there because, equivalent ng 3ds Max, no? So, yep, there we go. That's exposure control, no? So yeah, there we go. The instructions are all there if you want to go back to it, no? So they're all there. All right. Okay na tayo? Okay na tayo, guys? Clear tayo? Are we clear? Sa
Yes, sir.
exposures? Okay. So before we move on, tatanong ako, no? Pick up tayo. Okay? Now, when it comes to rendering stuff natin dito sa ating lights, no? Sa ating scenes, no? Of course, we have lights, di ba? We have our lights. Ito yung main discussion natin, no? Can anyone tell me what is global illumination in their own definition, their own way? What is global illumination? Kasi by now at this point, pinagbabanggit ko na yung kung ano yung mga pwede natin gamitin na global illumination. In their own way, can someone tell me what is global illumination? It's actually pretty simple, no? Binigay ko rin yung definition kanina, yung pinaka-basic definition niya. What is global illumination?
Sir,
Yes, Miguel.
I think it adds realistic lighting by adding some bounces between light sources, something like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. That's actually the point, no? Global illumination adds realism, no? I mean, that's the whole purpose of lighting naman anyway. But when it comes to global illumination, that adds realism talaga. Lalo na if you're rendering an interior, no? Lalo na when you're shooting a light from outside, no? You're shooting a light from outside and then papasok siya sa loob. Naturally, ang interior natin hindi siya madilim. It's going to have some form of illumination pa rin naman, no? Right? Kasi manonotice natin 'yan, 'di ba, guys? Kapag sa umaga, kapag bukas yung bintana natin, may ilaw sa labas, almost maliwanag yung bahay natin, no? Maliwanag yung kwarto natin. But when night falls, when there's an absence of light sa ating exterior environment, madilim yung kwarto natin, no? That is global illumination at work, no? Now, when it comes to global illumination, last question ko na to, guys. Nabanggit ko na, dami na ako nabanggit kanina, which is dapat di ko binabanggit eh. di ko dapat binabanggit, but yeah, nabanggit ko na. So, can someone give me 2 light objects from either softwares? 3ds Max or Blender, or 3ds Max and Blender. Give me 2 lights. Give me 2 light types na considered as good to use for global illumination. Anyone? Anyone? Just give me 2. Dalawa lang. Oops. Can someone give me 2 light types? Or give me 2 light objects, no? Either sa ano natin. Pinagbabanggit ko na to. Pinagbabanggit ko siya actually, no? Remember, isipin natin yung definition ng global illumination natin, no? So global illumination makes use of a light source that basically lights up everything, no? At doon na yun, doon sa pangalan global illumination, di ba? Global illumination. So ano yung mga light types natin? Just give me 2. No? Give me 2. Come on, guys. Just 2. Dalawa lang hanap ko. Yung isa, kadi-discuss lang natin. No? Kadi-discuss lang natin yung isa. Okay, may nakita na akong isa. Yes, sun, no? Pero point light, depende yan. Depende yan sa ano natin, no? Now, point light sa Blender, medyo medyo iffy, no? Medyo iffy siya for global illumination, but sun, yes, pwede siya, no? So, indirect. No, Hana. Indirect. I mean, technically yes naman. Kasi indirect, light bouncing siya, no? But not exactly what I'm hoping for. Light types, no? Dalawang light types, no? Yung mga dinemo ko dito. Sun and area light on Blender. Yes, there we go. No? Sun and area light. Good example sa Blender. No? Sun and area light. No? Now, sa 3ds Max naman. 2 objects. I want the actual names, ha? Wag yung point and sun lang. No. I want actual names sa 3ds Max. Ano yung mga light types na dinemo kanina, no? So, sa Arnold natin, meron tayong, ano yung nilagay ko? Meron tayong point, may spot, may quad. Tapos sa tawag doon, photometric light, meron tayong free light, meron tayong sun positioner. Ano guys, ano sa tingin niyo yung mga pwede natin gamitin na global illumination doon na light? No? Ano sa tingin nyo? Sky dome and sun positioner. Yes! Tama. No? So sky dome and sun positioner, yes, that's good examples. But there's one more. Kasi sky dome, hindi ko naman diniscuss eh. Hindi natin i-discuss yan whatsoever. Kasi sky dome is pretty bad. No? Meron pa ako isang hinahanap. No? Yes, there we go. Quad light. No? Quad light is the perfect light to use for global illumination because it shoots out everywhere, no? It shoots out everywhere. Every nook and cranny sa scene mo, mag-shoot out siya ng light, no? So, quad and sun positioner, no? So, yun. Okay, so that means clear tayo, good tayo, no? Nakaka-understand tayo, which is good, no? Good, kising pa kayo. So, last Ano tayo? Promise guys, last na tayo. This is our last discussion for today. AOV manager and render passes. This one is, guys, this is pretty easy. Hindi ko naman na pinare-require to unless gusto nyo lang gawin. But yeah, this is the little extra na they discuss ko. No? So AOV manager and render passes. No? So ano ba yung AOV? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng AOV? Kung ang iniisip nyo ay Arena of Valor, well, mali yan. No? Ang tamang definition natin sa AOV is arbitrary output variables. No? Ano meaning nun? Hindi ko na-explain, but the only purpose for AOVs is basically they're called render passes din naman. Sa AOV manager kasi, yan yung tawag sa 3ds Max, and render passes, that's the actual technical thing that we call it. No? That's what Blender calls, that's what every 3D software calls, not AOV manager. No? So AOV manager basically, as I said kanina, separates your scenes into different renders. No? Pwede tayong render lang natin yung colors ng ating scene. Pwede nating i-render out lang natin yung highlights, yung reflections, yung light, yung shadows, no? That is the purpose of the AOV manager. Bakit natin ginagamit 'yon? Actually, ba't pala natin ginagamit 'yon? The purpose in a 3D sense, no? Sa role natin sa 3D artist, the purpose of AOVs is yun nga, no? To separate each and individual part sa ating render to basically go sa ating photo editing studio, and then we can filter out kung ano sa tingin natin what needs to be edited out, no? What needs to be edited out, what needs to be removed, what needs to be improved on. So when it comes to photo editing, like for example, sa shadows natin, okay, parang medyo nakita natin sa render natin, but parang kulang yung shadow natin, but there should be like a shadow here. Instead na i-redo natin yung render natin sa 3D software, since naka-filter out naman na yung shadow na render natin, it's on a different render, it's a different image already, pwede natin doon na lang natin i-edit sa mismong Photoshop, no? Or doon sa photo editing software natin, no? So maraming uses tayo diyan, no? This also mainly used din to sa mga 3D animation, no? If you can watch sa mga behind the scenes ng mga animation studios, meron tayo na occasionally maririnig nyo yung mga sinasabi nila mga passes, no, mga animation passes, no, that they're basically talking about this one, no, yung mga render passes natin or yung AOV manager natin. Because just like normal renders natin, madalas nilang ginagamit talaga yung mga render passes when it comes to post-production na. Kasi doon nila madaling ma-edit everything, lahat ng mga CGI shots nila, doon nila madaling na-edit sa After Effects or sa Premiere or whatever software they're using, no? So, ano na tayo? Paano na ba natin gagamitin to and paano natin ma-set up, no? So, you can see already here, no? May na tayo, may mga stuff na tayo na naka-list out kung ano yung mga kailangan natin. We have yung diffuse direct, we have yung specular, transmission, diffuse indirect, specular indirect, and transmission indirect. Now, these 6, no, itong diffuse, specular, transmission, direct, and indirect, they're pretty much the common ones that you're probably going to use, no? So diffuse direct, we have the primary light bounce on contact to the surface, or yung ano nga natin, or pwede rin yung actual na color ng ating mga assets. Next is the specular direct reflections, or yung main reflections natin, major reflections. Next is the transmission direct, transparent objects, yun yung mga yun yung mga reflective, yung mga transparent objects na materials, no? Inilagyan natin ng mga transparent materials, no? Like for example, a glass or a mirror, no? Or something like that, no? Something of those caliber. Now, sa diffuse, specular, and transmission indirect natin, now they're just there for like kung may makuha man sila na na hindi nakuha dun sa direct na render passes natin. They're just there, no? So, they're more like a backup lang ba? Na in case like for example sa diffuse direct, nakuha nila sa diffuse direct, nakuha naman niya for the most part lahat ng mga objects natin, lahat ng mga ni-render out na assets natin. But when sa diffuse indirect, may napansin kayo, hindi pala lahat, no? Kasi may nakita kayong nakalagay dun sa diffuse indirect, no? So, something like that, no? Kinaka-capture nila yung mga natitira na hindi nasama dun sa direct. no? So, add na tayo, no? So, punta tayo sa 3ds Max muna. And then, where is it? Yun, rendering. Rendering, punta tayo sa ating render setup. And then, dito sa ating render setup, punta tayo sa AOVs. And then, click natin tong AOVs manager. Itong first option natin right here, no? Arbitrary output variables manager. Select natin yan, mag-open tong window natin dito, no? So yan. Now, ito yung mga dito, paghahanapin natin yung mga AOVs natin dito, yung ito, on diffuse, specular transmission, direct and indirect, dito natin nahanapin yan, dito sa AOV list, no? So, ano lang natin dito, since direct and indirect lang hanap natin, ito lang, click lang natin kasi nandito lahat yan, no? Direct and indirect, no? So, to basically add it, simple, click and drag lang tayo, no? So, there's our diffuse direct, and then specular direct, and then, where is it? Transmission direct. Oh. Now, for the indirect, select natin to, diffuse, indirect, specular indirect, and then transmission indirect. Okay? So, yan, that's about it. Now, basically, syempre, kailangan natin i-save to, no? So, dito yan sa atin, of course, we have to, open output folder natin. Of course, for this one, guys, you might want to work in a certain project folder na already, no? So, siguro, gawa lang ng project folder dito somewhere. Gawa lang ng siguro, let's say, AOV, no? AOV lang yan. So, lagay ko lang dyan. Or actually, pwede natin gamitin yung natin, no? Pwede natin gamitin yung 3ds Max folder lang natin, which is under ng 3ds Max folder. Nope, dito ba yun? Nope, itong 3ds Max. Wait. Saan ba yun? Alam ko dito sa ating this 3ds Max. Well, di ko mahanap. But, yeah. Sa naman, basta yung default na, yung default na 3ds Max directory, doon siya naturally mapupunta. But, yeah, di ko mahanap yung akin, but, yeah, hanggang doon lang naman. Okay lang naman yun. So, okay na tayo dyan. So, we're basically good na. No? So, gawin ko na lang dito. Sige, go. Nag-save ko na lang sa desktop, AOV, select folder. Okay? Alright, so that's basically it, no? That's basically it. So, wala na tayo kailangan gawin. Itong mga, let's say for example naman, you want to load your AOVs, no? Kasi syempre, hindi natin makikip to palagi, no? Hindi natin makikip to, kailangan natin i-load to palagi, no? So, we have to load those every time na kailangan nating gamitin, no? So, same thing lang naman dito sa ating arbitrary output variables. Open nyo lang yan. And then, select lang natin tong presets, no? So, kung tayo dito sa presets, of course, don't forget, save muna pala natin, no? Isa-save muna natin yan, no? So, ito pala. Dito ko pala nilagay yung mga AOVs ko. Dito pala sa update ako. Well, there we go. So, ito na lang. Save ko na lang siya sa AOV ko. Fine. AOV. So, new AOV. So, save ko lang yan. Okay na ako dyan. So, that's saved na. That's in my computer na. Okay na ako dyan. Now, kailangan ko lang i-load, no? So, click lang dito sa presets and then click load. And then, ilo-load nyo na lang yung kung saan nyo sinave yung preset na AOV manager nyo, no? Okay? Clear tayo? So, dito ko wait, not that one. AOV, new AOV, yeah. So, yan. Automatic siyang ilo-load kagad, no? So, okay na tayo doon. Clear tayo, guys? Clear tayo? Clear tayo, guys? Clear, clear, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, exit out muna tayo. Punta muna tayo sa Blender. Now, dito sa Blender, excuse me. Dito sa Blender, ito yung sa render passes natin dito. Unlike sa 3ds Max, and basically any other softwares, minsan pa iba-iba tayo ng mga terms, no? Now, problem sa Blender, wala tayong quote-unquote specular na term, no? But we have glossy, which is almost the same thing as specular, no? So, pupunta ngayon tayo dito sa Blender. Pupunta tayo sa View Layer Properties. This one right here. Itong parang mga pictures dito na nagkapatong. Select natin yan. And then, unang-una nyo makikita actually dito, ito already, itong mga light passes natin. Or yung render passes natin. So, it's pretty easy. No? Just click lang natin. Direct, indirect tayo sa diffuse. Dito sa glossy, direct and indirect. And then, ano yung nalagay ko? Transmission. Transmission. So, direct, indirect. And then that's it. No? You're all good. Tapos na tayo. Ganun na yun. Ganun kadali lang, no? So, how to use them is, of course, number one, wala pala akong camera. Wait. Of course, lagyan lang akong camera. Okay. Okay. So, and then press 12 to render 4096 ko. Oh, wait, never mind, 250 lang pala. So, of course, guys, when to use your render passes, no, you're gonna have to let it finish rendering first, no? Kaya mo muna siyang matapos mag-rendering kasi hindi mo ma-render first. So, hintayin lang natin mag-render. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Wait lang tayo. Wait. Wait for lang. Okay. So, dito tayo sa ating manonotice nyo dito sa ating render window, this part right here, dito sa bandang taas natin dito. So, select natin itong by default nakalagay siya is combined, no? So, select, not responding ako. Na-exit out to. Never mind. Okay. Never mind. Okay, so ito na yun, no? So, these are your passes, no? So, diffuse direct. Yan, manonotice nyo, no? Now, itong diffuse direct, diretso sa light passes nga, no? Sa light passes siya, so, yan, makikita natin yung diffuse direct natin, diffuse indirect, ito yung kabila natin, no? Then gloss direct. Ngayon, wala tayong any sort of gloss kasi wala akong nilagay na material whatsoever. Same din sa transmission because again, wala akong nilagay na tawag doon, any sort of transparency, no? So, makikita niyo rin naman yan. Don't worry guys, makikita niyo yan. Always makikita. But as you can see already, magigets nyo naman siguro kung ano yung purpose ng mga render passes, no? So, filter out niya yung mga different na renders natin. So, yan, no? And then, easily, napakadali na lang yan. Let's say, dadali na natin sa Photoshop, punta lang tayo sa image, and then save. No? Same deal as before, just like it's sa combined, no? So, yan. So, yan, filter out natin yan, ano? Na-filter out siya. Now, dito naman sa ating 3ds Max, gumagana lang siya sa active shade, no? Sa active shade mode lang siya nagana, and dito lang siya gagana sa ating render setup, which is, again, pretty iffy, no? Pretty iffy, medyo gamitin, no? So, hintayin lang natin i-render na yung mga just wait for it to render. Okay, ito sa ating Okay, wait for it. Just wait for it to finish rendering. Mag-render. Saan ba nakalagay ito? Ano ba yung... naka-HDTV ako. Well, it's okay. Are you finished rendering? Okay. Okay, but hindi nagpakita ang aking render passes. Why? Ba't di ka nagpakita? You should be here. Wait. Load. Yeah. Wait na lang. Bakit tayo magpakita ng aking AOVs? Did I miss a step? Kalimutan ko na. Never mind. Tama naman ako. Ba't ayaw magpakita ngayon ng AOVs ko? Okay. Render. Ayun. Okay. So, okay. Nag-bug out. I have no idea. But, yeah. There we go, no? So, that is yung natin, no? So, same deal as sa Blender din yan, So, dito sa active shade natin, like I said, gumagana lang siya sa active shade, which is very unintuitive. But, yeah. So, ito. So, currently, itong RGBA, this is yung combined, no? Ito yung lahat-lahat na natin, So, pwede natin selection diffuse direct. Yung direct lang na, since gamit natin sa positioner, it's pretty strong already. Na specular direct, bakit meron tayong specular direct? Ito yun, no? Kasi, wala ko nilagay na materials, but sa 3ds Max nga natin, if we create one of the objects sa mga primitives natin, ina-apply na siya agad ng material natin, no? yung base material natin, yung base na physical material natin. That's why when I select my specular direct, meron tayong sort of reflections dito kasi may reflection talaga siya, may konting roughness siya, no? May konting transmission. No, dito sa transmission, wala tayong masyadong kasi wala naman tayong transparency. Diffuse indirect, ito yung natira niya natin dito, no? Again, specular, ito yung reverse natin. Ito yung sa natin, yung sa taas, no? So, yan. Again, transmission indirect, yan. So, there we go. It's literally the same thing sa Blender, no? But for me, siguro kung mamimili ako between the two, personally, I think much better dito sa Blender kasi I don't know why, but when it comes to rendering dito sa mga render passes natin dito, hindi tawag doon, mahirap parang hirap tanggalin ng ng mga tawag doon, mga background niya kasi hindi nano-notice si 3ds Max na yung for example dito sa diffuse indirect natin dito. Itong mga black areas na to, this one right here kasi itong part natin dito, this should already be here dito sa diffuse direct natin. Pero dito sa diffuse indirect natin, dapat when I render this, hindi nakasama to, no? Kasi automatic dapat ma-detect niyan. Blender does that, but 3ds Max doesn't, no? So, yun lang. Just a little fun fact to know, no? But yeah, there we go. If you choose to use render passes, that's your choice. Personally, I don't really use it that much, no? That entirely depends kung anong gagawin ko na na project, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, rarely ko nagagamit talaga to. No? So yeah, it's your choice if you want to use it. Okay? So that's basically it, guys. Any questions regarding render passes, no? Or yung light passes natin? Oops. Okay. Any questions? None? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Wala na. Wala. None so far. Wala.
None po.
Okay, kasi tapos na tayo sa class natin. No? So that is the end of our class. Pag-usapan na natin ang activity 2 and activity 3. Huwag kayong matakot, guys. Mahaba-haba ang deadline nito, no? Because I'm going to be following my my syllabus from last term sa 3D ANI. No? So there will almost basically every third week natin, libreng lang yan, either asynchronous siya halos, no? Kung matapat man siya as a face to face or as online, asynchronous tayo diyan. Kung face to face, I'm just going to let you do your work, no? Kung online, well, wala tayong pasok since it's asynchronous, so you're just gonna do your work, no? So, pag-usapan na natin ang activity 2 and activity 3. Now, since like I said nga, third week tayo ngayon. Dahil next meeting natin, next Thursday, is face-to-face. Wala tayong discussion. You're just gonna do your activities 2 and 3. No? So, activity 2 natin. So, wala na kayong kailangan gawin. Ida-download nyo lang yung activity 2 file. Now, preferably guys, ito ang unahin nyo sa class natin sa school. Itong unahin nyo kasi this one is pretty heavy, no? Very high poly to. And yun nga, like I said, I suggest that you do this first, no? So download the activity 2 file from Big Sky along with the textures in the Google Drive link. Apply lighting to the scene to bring the whole scene to life your way. Optional, if you want to make your sponsor render a bit more unique, you're free to model additional assets to add to your scene. But that is entirely optional. Hindi yan sasama sa grading natin, no? Now, next, yung main na ipapasa nyo is 3 renders, no? 3 renders, different angles, no? So render 3 different angles of the same scene, showcasing your lighting setup. Render your scenes using either of the listed output size, no? Kahit alin dyan, no? 1280 by 720 or 1080, no? Either of the two. Kung anong gusto nyong output size, no? And then, of course, lastly, submit your renders in Big Sky with the file name, surname _ act2, sponza - angle number, no? So yeah, you get it, no? You get it naman. No? So, yan. So just to make things clear, yan download yung activity 2 file kasama yung textures. Yung textures, guys, sa natin yan? Sa class na natin gawin, no? Kasi wala pa naman tayo sa texturing discussion. Sa class na natin gagawin yan, no? Sa class natin gagawin yan. And then, I'm going to be letting you in on something dito. Siguro kung alam nyo na kung paano gawin yung textures, siguro I'm just going to say this na. Lahat ng textures dun sa activity2 file na yan, this one right here, to activity2 file, not everything is dun sa scene na yon. May mga dinagdag ako doon na galing sa akin. So, nandun yon pampalito. No? So, tingnan mabuti yung mga ano natin, mga textures natin doon. Lahat doon hindi magagamit. May mga textures ako doon na wala talaga sa Sponza file. So, makikita na lang natin yun, no? So, next Thursday na natin yan gagawin, no? Like I said, next Thursday na natin yan. Tuturo ko sa inyo kung paano i-set up yung mga materials natin. Clear? Clear tayo? Sa Thursday na natin pag-usapan yon. For now, siguro, pag-aralan nyo muna, paglaruan nyo muna yung mga lights, no? So, yan. Alright? And then, of course, apply lighting to the scene. Now, parang ano yung reference nyo dito? Ito ang render ko for said file, no? So, this is Sponza, no? It's an architectural environment already. Now, pretty realistic na yung approach ko dito, no? So, photorealistic ang approach ko dito. Well, in a sense, no? Ang problema dito, wala lang HDRI na nilagay. Guys, I want you to remember, walang maglalagay ng HDRI. Wala. Okay? Walang maglalagay ng HDRI. Wala akong pinaano na HDRI. Ang habol ko lang sa inyo is global illumination. Lighting lang tayo. Wala tayong HDRI. The only possible na HDRI na pwede nyo lang gamitin is yung galing sa sun positioner. Okay? Now, ang tanong, paano ko ginawa yan? Ito, sa Blender, ano yan, sa change lang yan ng color ng background. Yon, pwede yon, no? Pwede yon. Same lang rin sa 3ds Max, no? Pag change ng color background, no? So, sa 3ds Max, press code 8 for environmental effects. Why are you not popping up? Wala pa tayo nagpa-pop up. Ayan. So, ito lang yan, no? Global lighting. Yan lang yon. So, yun. Sa Blender, I mean, pretty easy lang naman sa Blender natin, eh, no? Easy lang yung sa Blender natin. Ito lang yun, no? Change nyo lang yung color. That's it, no? Pero wala ako dapat makitang HDRI, no? Walang magi-HDRI. Kapag may nakita akong HDRI, well, mababang score. Kasi not following instructions, eh. Sabi ko, walang HDRI, naglagay ng HDRI, no? Now, as you can see already here then, yan yung mga textures natin, ano? Observe carefully, no? So, ayan, basically, cheat sheet nyo na yan halos, eh. Cheat sheet na halos yan, no? So, makikita nyo dito, lahat yan, andyan na lahat ng mga textures yan, no? Now, I only rendered one scene, but for you guys, tatlo yung i-render nyo. 3 different angles, no? So, gagawin nyo, gagawa na kayo ng lighting setup nyo. Once satisfied na kayo sa lighting setup nyo, doon na kayo mag-render ng mga different angles, no? So, pare-pareho lang lahat ng lighting setup yan. Walang magbabago, no? So, once you settled on one lighting setup, doon na kayo. All throughout 3 renders, no? All throughout the 3 angles, no? So, one lighting setup lang. Alright? Then, of course, lastly, either 1280 by 720 or 1920 by 1080, no? Ito ang unahin nyo, preferably, guys. Kasi itong mabigat talaga, no? So, yeah, there we go. Activity 3, no? Activity 3, again, download lang kayo ng file ulit. So, may file na rin yan. So, this one is basically a chocolate tart made by Janice Zeps along with the textures in the Google Drive. Kasama na lahat yan, no? Now, apply lighting to the scene to bring the whole scene to life your way. Optional, if you want to make your chocolate tart render a bit more unique, just like sa Sponza, you're free to model additional assets to add to your scene. But just like sa Sponza, hindi yan kasama sa grade, no? May typo ako. Bakit 1020 ka? Teka, ba't may typo ako? Tagal na ito, 1920 by 1080. No? Now, may reason yan kung bakit 1920 by 1080 kasi this one is pretty easy to do. No? Submit your render in Big Sky with the file name, surname, _ act3 tart. Now, yung itsura niyan, there we go. That's it. No? That is your tart. All right? And again, this one, well, sige na, spoil ko na ako ano yung mga hanap ko dito. So, activity 2, basically environmental render using global illumination. Okay? Now, activity 3 naman, product rendering, no? Product showcasing, no? So, clear tayo. So, with that in mind, I guess siguro alam nyo na kung paano simulan natin yan, ano? Alright? Clear tayo? Clear tayo?
Yes, sir.
Alright, no questions? No questions? Wala na? Walang questions?
Sir, may question po, sir.
Yes.
Regarding po sa lighting, just curious po if you use in a scene sa 3ds Max po, in a scene pag both mo po gagamitin yung Arnold and photometric, wala po ba siyang issues na kapag nag-render?
Yes,
Or-
there's going to
oh,
be issues. No? There's going to be
okay.
issues yung pag-combine natin ng photometric light and then yung Arnold light. Now, actually, it entirely depends din kung ano nilagay mo. Now, for example, sa photometric light, nilagay mo pre-light tapos naglagay ka ng Arnold light. Now, yon medyo okay lang yon. Okay pa yon, okay lang yon. No? But kung nilagay mo sun positioner and then an Arnold light, now yon may issues tayo kasi magiging super overpowering tong sun positioner, no? So, mangyayari doon, kailangan mong to basically kung para makita mo lang yung natin, yung Arnold light natin, siguro sa under the shade, no? Siguro for example, dito sa ating sponsor, no? Siguro somewhere around here, no? Pwede pa 'yon, no? But kung magkasama siya outside, no? Kung magkasama yung dalawa outside, well, yun, magkakaroon talaga ng problems kasi like I said, magiging overpowering yung sun positioner compared sa Arnold light. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. So, any questions? Any questions? I'll be taking questions until 11:30. Tapos after 11:30, you're free to go. Now, sir, just to clarify, we'll be doing both of these activities at school and just practice in the meantime here at home po. Yes, kung gusto mo mag-practice or kung gusto mong gawin na ngayon, sure, why not, no? I mean, the Dropbox is already active, guys, sa Big Sky. So, makikita nyo na rin kung kailan siya due, no? So, it's entirely up to you, no? Also, next Thursday, doon natin pag-uusapan na rin natin yung first group activity. Also, guys, siguro this coming Thursday, one room na lang tayo. Sa 10:22 na tayo, no? Sa 8 and 22 na lang tayo. Huwag na tayong mag-split room. Kasi, natawag doon, last Monday, may class din ako doon eh. Pinag-isang room ko na lang rin sila. And I think it works naman. I think much better nga eh. So, isang room na lang tayo sa 1022. So, yung mga originally na from 1022 na students, may remember your seats, no? Doon na kayo permanently, no? Also make room na lang for mga papasok na 8 and 06, no? So, again, 1022 na tayo. 8 and 22 na lang tayo sa next Thursday. No? One room na lang tayo. All right? All right? Clear? Also, wait, may nakaiwan ng USB last Thursday, no? Si Enzo Balisi, I think si Enzo Balisi. Enzo, did you forget a USB flash drive? Yes, don't worry, nasa akin Enzo, no? So makuha mo sa akin sa next Thursday. Nasa akin, don't worry. Kasi sarado rin yung yung lost and found, no? So I took it home na. Okay? Also remember guys, Discord server, join na kayo dun guys, no? Doon na kayo mag-join, mas mabilis nyo ako mako-contact guys. And like I said, lahat ng mga quick announcements ko, probably mga important na quick announcements, doon ko na doon ko na ipo-post. And then of course, yun nga no, nandun yung mga Blender resources, etc., etc. Blender, 3ds Max, etc., etc. No? So all that stuff here. Doon ako magpo-post, no? So join na kayo doon. The link is already sa news, no? Sa news section ng Big Sky. So, don't forget to join. And kung naka-join kayo, don't forget to, nag-expire na ba yung link? Sige, teka. Sige na. Let me put it here na lang, no? Where? Ayan. Okay. There we go. So join na kayo dyan, guys. If you're already joined, don't forget to sign your role dito. It's already there. Don't forget. I'm expecting 40 people, no? 20 sa 3D Ani, 20 sa 3D mod, no? It's already there. Di ko pa na-update but I'll be uploading din dito yung mga files ng ng 3ds Max and Blender na gagamitin natin for the term, no? I haven't done it yet kasi wala pa akong time. But yeah. And then dito yung chat din, no? I'll be posting dito kung like for example, hindi ako makaka-attend, dito ako mag-announce, no? All right? All right? All right. So 12, 17, may tatlo pa. Ayan, don't forget. And again, guys, do not forget this one, no? This one right here. Flowcharts, SER, and then undertaking. Ilang pa kulang? 4, 8, 12, 15 pa rin. 5 pa rin kulang, no? So do not forget. The link is already sa Big Sky under week 1, no? All right? Clear na tayo? It's already natin everyone meeting. Ayan. So ito pa rin yung Discord na PM ko lang pala. So it's 11:30, guys. If you have no more questions, well, I'm going to be ending the class na. And if you still have questions, don't forget, you can easily just chat me up here, no? Just chat me up here. Pwede nyo send ng PM or kung gusto nyo dito. Para, yun nga, no? Let's say technical problem and then yung mga iba na encounter din, you can just post it here dito sa chat natin dito and then dun ko sasagutin para makita rin ng iba, no? Para nila ma-solusyonan. Okay? Okay? Clear na tayo? Clear?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so have a good afternoon. Well, good noon, no? Gutom na ako. So tara, kain na tayo, guys, no? So it's 11:31. You're free to go. So see you all next Thursday. So I'll be sharing yung recording mamaya sa natin, sa Big Sky. So you can just view it all there. Okay? So there we go.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you,
all right.
sir.
All right. Have
Thank
a
you,
fun
sir.
afternoon. All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Di po, sir. Ingat po.
Okay.